Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. So obviously with Deontay Wilder and considering he will not be fighting Tyson Fury now, he is going to be out of the picture for an extremely long time. Now, if he wants to become a two-time heavyweight world champion and get back to the place he has been before, then undisputed next year, that will take up the entirety of 2021, meaning Wilder will not be fighting for a heavyweight world championship until likely 2022, and that's if he's lucky, because we still have a Dillian Whyte who's in the picture, and Alexander Povetkin if he beats Dillian Whyte. Obviously if Whyte wins that fight, then he goes back to interim WBC world champion, so that means that Dillian Whyte will be looking to force his position as a WBC interim champion to have his shot at the full champion, whoever that may be at that point. So Dillian Whyte is, or should be, before Deontay Wilder for a WBC world title shot, provided he beats Alexander Povetkin. If Povetkin wins, then he should be before Deontay Wilder, because he has beaten the better opponents. He's beaten WBC number 1 for 2 years and secured that interim champion status. So Deontay Wilder should be behind those guys before getting another WBC world title shot. Something tells me that that won't happen though, considering how the WBC have protected Wilder over the years. Look at his opponents, the last 10 opponents of Deontay Wilder. Aside from Tyson Fury, who he chose to fight himself, the only good thing the WBC have done with regards to Wilder is force him to take a rematch with Tyson Fury. One that Tyson Fury did not necessarily take straight away, but did end up taking down the line after having 2 interim fights. So that is the only time I've ever really seen the WBC force something on Deontay Wilder and make him take a fight that is a genuine 50-50 fight, or in fact 60-40 favouring Tyson Fury. So the WBC have allowed Deontay Wilder to navigate his way through the tough fights in the heavyweight division. That's just what's happened. But now, hopefully, Deontay Wilder has to fight some of the tough fights he should be fighting. I mean, Dillian Whyte, Povetkin winner. Why not fight them? Because they will be interim WBC world champion if he wants to get back to that place, if he wants to get back to a high standing within the governing body. I mean, he's already still number 1 with the WBC, which is mental because he's just lost. So I don't know how he's still ranked number 1 by the WBC. That is kind of absurd, but still, he's ranked number 1. Dillian Whyte Povetkin fight for the interim WBC World Championship November 21st. Call out the winner for that fight if he really wants to prove that he's not number 1, because obviously that's between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but if he wants to prove that he is the fighter he believes he is, then fight the winner of that fight, or go and fight Andy Ruiz Jr. Because Deontay Wilder cannot expect to get back to the top of the heavyweight division the same way he done it before, because there are more sharks in the water this time. There is Andy Ruiz, there is Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, Dillian Whyte, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois coming through, prospects that hopefully will be challenging for world titles in the next couple of years. I mean, Joe Joyce is a little bit older, but he is still new and fresh in the heavyweight division. So there are many fighters looking to come up and many fighters looking for their opportunities. So what I believe they should do is duke it out, fight one another to see who gets to fight the champion, whoever that may be, undisputed. That is what should happen, because no one's getting a world title opportunity next year if undisputed is happening twice. So Ruiz Wilder, Dillian Whyte Povetkin, the winner of that fight, goes on to face someone like Joseph Parker, or even someone like Hrgovic. Maybe even the winner of Dubois versus Joyce. That is what should be happening. Let's not forget also Oscar Rivas is in there. Also Michael Hunter is in there as well. So there are some top heavyweights who are waiting for that golden opportunity. The best thing to do is fight a big name. Then they will jump up within the governing body rankings. But the thing is with Wilder, he's already number 1. And the WBC will likely give him a world title shot before they give anyone else that opportunity. I just hope the winner of Povetkin Whyte 2 forces their position, because if they don't, then there is the worry that Wilder gets his opportunity before they do, which should not happen. And in fact, to be honest, in my opinion, given what the WBC have previously done, if there are going to be 2 undisputed fights next year with no WBC mandatory being fought, then I'm guessing what they're going to do is take the winner of Povetkin Whyte and make them fight the number 1 challenger to get to see who is that mandatory, who is that number 1 challenger to the WBC World Champion. That is a genuine possibility, and something they have done in the past. Maybe they will do it again, because they put obstacle after obstacle in the way for Dillian Whyte. He went through them all, but unfortunately he had that loss to Povetkin. He's going to rematch him on November 21st to put that first fight right. So Whyte has done everything asked by the WBC, but they did continuously put obstacles in the way, and every time he got to that point, they changed the goalposts. So Whyte has been through that before. I hope they don't try and put him through it again by making him fight Wilder, although I don't believe Wilder would take that fight, to be honest. So I do hope they do Dillian Whyte justice when and if he beats Alexander Povetkin, because that is going to be a very tough fight. There's going to be a lot of mental pressure in there for Dillian Whyte. I believe he is capable of dealing with it, given what he has proven in the past. But I hope they do right by Dillian Whyte and give him his opportunity. One thing I don't understand with this is Dillian Whyte, after he lost to Povetkin, was moved straight down to number 5, although he wasn't really ranked because he was WBC interim champion. So he was number 1, but obviously then he was elevated to interim champion status. But he slots in at number 5, even though he lost to Povetkin, of course he did. But Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury, lost his world championship, and is ranked to number 1 still by the WBC. How does that work? Dillian Whyte is moved to number 5, and Wilder slots in at number 1? Should Dillian Whyte not still be number 1 and have Alexander Povetkin as interim champion? And then it would be WBC interim champion fighting number 1 challenger in the WBC. Yes, Dillian Whyte has just come off of a loss, so how does he get ranked number 1? Well, the question I would ask is, how does Deontay Wilder get ranked number 1 when he also is just coming off of a loss? So given what Dillian Whyte has been put through by the WBC, continuously doing what he has been asked of, the WBC cannot give Deontay Wilder special treatment because he is no longer their champion, so they can't protect him anymore, even though I suspect they are going to give him a shortcut to the World Championship. But then again, if Tyson Fury is still champion, or even if Anthony Joshua is by then, depending on what happens between those two in Undisputed, is Deontay Wilder going to want to fight him? Because he didn't want to fight Tyson Fury this time, he turned that down. Obviously there's something going on behind the scenes. We don't know whether it was Wilder who didn't want it or a contract expired. There is something. I mean, come on. It cannot be a contract runs out. It's just ridiculous. There's something behind the scenes that someone doesn't want it. We know. If a fighter wants to fight, it happens. Realistically, if a fighter wants to fight, the fight happens. This one isn't, so there's something going on behind the scenes. We don't know at the moment. Maybe it will come out in the wash, but at the moment we don't know. So if Deontay Wilder has an opportunity at the WBC World Champion, whether that be at that point Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, is he going to want to fight them? Especially now where there is that mental block in Deontay Wilder's head. He knows that people know how to beat him. He knows that Tyson Fury has the blueprint to beat him. He knows Anthony Joshua also knows that, because Anthony Joshua said in an interview that the best thing to do with Deontay Wilder is knock him out early. When he was breaking down Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder, the rematch, he said that yes, Luis Ortiz was winning the rounds, and in round 7, yes, he landed that big punch, but Anthony Joshua explained he would not be in there in the 7th round to land that punch, because Anthony Joshua said he would get to him before he is able to do so. So Joshua knows how to beat him. Tyson Fury knows how to beat him. It's not easy because he has that dynamite in the right hand, so you have to be careful. There is always that possibility, but Wilder deep down knows that they know now how to beat him, and unless he changes many things, that is what is going to happen. So at the moment, Deontay Wilder, yes, is out of the world title picture. Even Eddie Hearn has explained he won't get a world title shot until 2022. Realistically, he needs to fight someone of note to give him that opportunity, but we know that's not going to happen. We know that the WBC will give him his opportunity before he is due that. But what does it matter if Tyson Fury is still champion? What does it matter even if Anthony Joshua is? Because the blueprint's out there. Everyone knows the secret is out, how to beat Deontay Wilder. Put a front foot fighter on the back foot. You still have to be careful, of course, but that's there. And Deontay Wilder knows that. That is something in his head, and he knows it's there. Maybe that's the reason why the fight with Tyson Fury is not going ahead. I mean, does he feel confident of beating Anthony Joshua? He shouldn't, because Joshua has clearly proven he has the better resume, and the fundamentals to go back to. Anthony Joshua has levels to his game, different aspects he can call upon in those moments. Deontay Wilder has been proven that he does not have that, so what does it matter if the WBC do want to give him a shot before he is due? Does it really matter anyway? Because will he take the fight? Maybe not. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.